just realizing a few things after reading $100 Million Leads from Alex Hormozy. I've read it 1.5 times already. So first time I read it all the way through audiobook, and as I was reading an audiobook, I'd go back and read the chapters in the physical book as well. And then I forgot to bring the physical book. I'm on holidays still. I forgot to bring the physical book in a couple of the trips that I've done, like back into Melbourne and stuff. They're like 4-hour trips, so I've continued to read the audiobook, and I finished the audiobook and now starting to listen to it again. And I think I've kind of realized that maybe at the moment I'm thinking about trying to create a course and sell it, and it's coming from a place of maybe trying to get money and build something out quite fast. I think I could solve the sales problem, so I could advertise to people who have issues with high margin sales, and I think there are a lot of solo companies that have that problem. But I think one of the reasons why they have that problem is because they don't have a good offer and because they don't have good leads. I think I'm starting to understand the idea that I believe that one of the larger problems that I need to learn how to solve is the lead problem. Because yes, I can solve the sales problem and help companies get an extra, few $1,000s of profit per week, and that is probably still really good. I don't know. Part of me is wondering, is this the case? Am I trying to skip and make money, or am I just trying to delay myself and create more time between actually producing, income? So I wanted to speak it out. So going back on that train of thought, I could solve that sales problem and go into a business and teach them my sales process and how I sell, and raise the price that they're selling at and help them improve the offer presentation and such to improve that. But if they've got crappy leads and they don't have many leads, there's still going to be an issue of a bottlenecked business from sales and leads. I don't know, but then am I going to try and solve the whole fucking problem at the same time? Maybe I can start helping businesses solve the sales problem whilst also working on generating leads. I've got the advantage of working alongside Shane's business in Sungain Solar, the business I used to own. And on a side note, I should probably work up some sort of intro. Alex has suggested with the podcast of being consistent, people will be reminded of who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Just a quick little, even 5-second intro about myself, because I'm assuming that someone else has listened to, I don't know, maybe even 20 episodes ago, which they probably haven't. Might work on that for the next podcast. I did do it for a while there, but anyway, I'm Josh Mackay. I used to own Sungain Solar, which is basically an online solar business that was generating around, I would say, $10,000 of revenue, maybe profit. What was it doing? I got to figure those numbers out. It was about $5,000 at least a week, and we were only working 4 hours a week. When I say we, one of the directors, so it was a pretty easy gig, 4 hours a week for $5,000 a week. And we had an online sort of model where we'd subcontract out the installs, and everyone worked from home, and everyone kind of was pretty self-sufficient. So it's pretty easy for me to go and create that. I've already started helping other people create that type of business, but I'm more interested in creating a much more profitable business. And the idea is being to sell more, to make more from the sales, and to work less. And that's what I've created a new business. I've sold that business, and I'm doing sales launch. So I need to figure out how to say all of that in 5 seconds. Anyhow, I am wondering, my next steps in sales launch is I need to start generating revenue. And I'm considering whether I make a course. And if I make a course, do I make a course in teaching people sales skills, or do I make a course teaching for example, electricians trying to start up a business, how to start up an online business like the one that I've just described, or do I work on the sales problem for an already operating business who is selling at competitive margins and going out of business because they can't afford, their margins are too small? Or do I start working on, how to bring better leads? So what I was saying, the advantage, because if you can get better leads, you can get better sales, you can put more money in them, and then you don't have an issue of like scarcity of leads as well. There's like a lot of benefit to that. But what I was saying is there is a few different pathways that I can go down, and I'm just wondering my reasons for thinking about different pathways and whether or not those are because I'm trying to make fast money or I'm trying to procrastinate. I'm not quite there yet. I think I could work on all of them. Maybe I just need something to do that's going to make money sort of immediately. The one saving grace right now is that, well, there's multiple saving graces right now, but I've already got a project to build this type of business that I was just describing, where we're doing, a small amount of hours a week and getting pretty profitable, easy to run business. I've already got a project helping someone do that, and I'm going to be generating a lot of content. It's also going to provide me a platform to test things, because he's giving me pretty much a blank check and a lot of creative freedom to do things the way that I want to do them. Because I'm working alongside Shane, the business owner that I used to run Sungain Solar with, and he does things quite differently to how I would do them, and he looks at different problems. He's also spread pretty thin, but he's solving different problems because he's spread thin, and I'm seeing problems in like the areas of business that I'm most interested in, which is the leads and the sales. I'm seeing problems with low lead quality that you can't get high margins with, not very high margins anyway, and also not making enough sales because he hasn't got enough leads. It's probably less of a sales problem, more of a lead problem. And then he's got fulfillment issues, which is bottlenecking sales, but that also comes from leads and sales, because if he had better quality leads and was able to set lower expectations and having higher margins and people were paying more up front, he'd have less cash flow issues and he'd be able to solve his fulfillment issues faster. But yeah, so I've got the advantage of being able to watch alongside that, which is pretty cool. So I think if I'm thinking about if I were to do it again myself right now, I think having a good offer, like I also look at the way that Alex Hormozy is probably I'm the most intrigued in his work. The way he presents his books is in the order of the highest, most valuable problem to solve, and he's writing his books in that order. And the first book he's written is offer creation, because if you have a good offer, you can have a good lead magnet and good leads because your offer is really good. But you can also, it's easy for salespeople because their offer is good. It's easy for people to say yes to because there's low risk, and you present it in a certain way that makes it easy to accept. So I'm thinking, well, maybe that's more of a direct sales thing. That's a sales presentation thing. So if I go into businesses and work on improving the offer, and at the same time I'm doing that with them, I'm also working on generating leads, which I can provide for the business, for the project that I'm doing, but also for Shane's business. I could offer Shane a no-risk lead, like a $500 per sale, and then I just work on getting high-quality leads through these different, lead magnets and offer creations that I'd be doing anyway for this project, and then I can help improve that for him as well. I think I kind of got there. I'm also driving, and I think I've realized that I just had this urge that I needed to make a podcast and talk about it right now. But it's driving distracts me from being able to be 100% present in what I'm saying now, which probably means the podcast that I'm producing is not as valuable. Anyway, at this stage I'm just doing it for myself, a little bit selfish, and I just wanted to keep making podcasts, so that's why I'm doing them as I think to do them, and I'll start becoming more consistent as I start moving into content creation across probably just Facebook to start with, because I know Facebook well. And that came from reading that Leeds book. I'm just going to go deep into Facebook, and then I'll start spreading wide across multiple platforms, because I know Facebook fairly well. I'm very familiar with it. I consume a lot of content there. So yeah, maybe I stick with the sales offer and improving sales for businesses that are struggling with competitive margins, because that gives me a platform to then improve their offer, improve their sales process, so they're getting better margins. And then the next problem for that is they need more leads to sell. So Alex is he's already spelled it out for me on the best way to work on a business. There we go. That's what I wanted to get to by making this podcast. I wanted clarity of mind. Thank you for being present for that, and I apologize for not being completely present myself. I'm really enjoying. I'm really excited. Alex said something in this book towards the end of his $100 million leads book that he shared. He was sharing his thoughts right before launch day of, I think it was Alan, the software company, or Prestige, the affiliates company, when he was built out an affiliates army to sell his products, and he made a podcast sharing his thoughts and fears and hopes and dreams of that night. And that's what I realized. I'm actually quite glad that I've been making these podcasts along the way, because I do think, even for myself, that I really want to go back and I can see the transition of myself and be able to go back and look at how and what I was thinking about. And that's kind of the purpose I've had for this podcast for the last little while. So yeah, super excited. So yeah, that's the end result of this podcast is I'll stick to the sales offer, because I think there's a lot of businesses that's their first problem, and that's why they go out of business faster, is because they're not making enough money. Awesome. Thanks for being part of that. Future self, or anyone else who's listening. Until next time.